welcome. You are here with myself, Dr. Stevens, and our host, Miss Shanika. As we are getting on, you will be joined with some wonderful, lovely ladies. So, Miss Shanika, you want to say hi as we join the other ladies?
Hello, 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 all of our YouTube viewers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a jam-packed show for you tonight. We hope that you enjoy the topic and that you learn lots of information, and that if anyone has any questions, that you put it in the chat and we will answer every single question. If not tonight, we will make sure that we will answer questions that you have. So let's get ready. I'm excited, Dr. Stevens.
Okay, so as we get started, we would love for these lovely ladies. It is great to be able to see powerful women within the community to be able to provide those services to the community, especially around mental health. And each one of you here, sisters, have something you can contribute to our community. And we want to hear it directly from your mouth, want to be able to get that empowerment directly from you. So let us start off with a little introduction and a big introduction because go big, but we're not going home. So please go ahead and tell us about yourself, about your profession, as well as your credential. And we can start off with Chantal.
Okay. Hi. So, hello, everyone. I am Chantal Bratcher Coleman. I am a LPCMH. I have several other certifications, but licensed professional mental health counselor is my main title. I guess the other title that I enjoy telling people is I am the CEO and founder of Shaping Minds Therapeutic Services. We are a minority based private practice for mental health located on Main Street in Newark, Delaware. And we basically, we do mental health counseling, but we do a lot of community awareness. Our mission is to empower our community through support and healing. So we are here to work with clients, to counsel them, to help them through their situations. But we're also here to do the generational healing process and to help people move forward from whatever, Dr. Alice's breaking the chain. We want to break the chains of all of the different traumas and things people have experienced over generations of family. And we are trying to just give people the opportunity to be their best selves. So I'm guessing that's big enough, Dr. Alice. I don't,
Yes, that is big enough. I
I'm a
love
mother, a
it.
wife. I have 9 kids and a grandbaby. And yeah, I guess after you say that, you can't go any bigger than that.
Yeah, you definitely did not go home. I love it. We're saying yes. So now we'll move on to Dr. Candidate Stephanie Harris.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm a doctor candidate. My name is Stephanie Harris. I am an LPC. I am also the CEO and owner, founder of Serene Mind Counseling Services in Monroe, Louisiana. And it's a small private practice counseling clinic, but I've serviced minorities, not just minorities, but I do service minority clients with co-occurring issues, mental health, substance abuse. I always tell people that I am here to support all your mental health needs. Any way that I can be of a service and of help and support, that's how I try to be for my clients. If they need resources, I'm hoping to, you know, work more with children. I do work with children, but they're not a big part of my clientele as of yet. But I do hope to work more with children, teenagers, to help them deal with some issues that keep them from having more issues or some substance abuse in further in life. Other than that, I'm a doctoral candidate working on a PhD in psychology, single parent, and full-time employee sometimes still too.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to Dr. Kiana. You're muted.
I was talking. I was ready to go in. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Kiana. I am a doctor in prevention science, pre-licensed MSW, certified family life educator, board certified holistic health practitioner. the founder and CEO of Freely Life Services for Individuals and Families Incorporated, which is a nonprofit organization here in the state of Delaware that services BIPOC individuals, women, and LGBTQ plus folks. Also, the founder and CEO and owner of Freely Integrated Health Wealth, which is a private practice in Newark, Delaware, in the Omega Center, where I provide mental health counseling, but also holistic services. So naturopathic care, energy healing, chakra therapy, spiritual guidance, anything that can help us with mental health healing, physical health healing, because we know it's all interconnected. So the services are integrative in their approach.
Okay, thank you. And now, not forgetting Miss Sanji. You're on mute.
Hello,
Oh, nice. You're good. I'm hearing you.
everyone. Oh, am I?
No,
Okay.
we're hearing you.
So
You're
I'm
live.
Sanji Tarver. I am from Winsboro, Louisiana. You hear me or you don't?
Yes,
We
we're
do.
hearing
We do hear you.
Okay. Okay. So again, I'm Sanji Tarver. I'm from Winsboro, Louisiana. I am the owner and founder of Healing Minds 2 and Divine Pearls. Healing Minds 2 is a nonprofit organization for mental health. I basically advocate and educate people on the different disorders of mental health. And Divine Pearls is a mentoring organization for young girls ages 4 to 17. I am a family therapist. I work with the Center for Children and Families, and I've been there for 16 years, I think. I work with youth. But right now, I am getting ready to transition from that position to school-based, a position in Franklin Parish, the parish that I grew up in. But I love mental health. I started Healing Minds 2 in 2018. It's just always been a passion of mine. Mental health runs in my family. And pretty much, I'm all for it. This is what I love to do. I enjoy. I love talking about it. I love educating people about it. And it is nice to meet you all.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
Sanji.
you.
I have to cut in, Dr. Stevens. I have to say thank you. Thank you, Miss Sanji, because you said that, you said all your credentials and who you are, and then you normalized it for us, right? You said mental health runs in my family. I will join you. Mental health runs in my family, which, provoked me to get into this field. So I thank you for being transparent.
Yes, definitely. So as we're
You're
going
welcome.
through, as we're going through, ladies, can you share with us what inspired you to get into mental health?
Mental health. No. um, I went to a therapist. I was in nursing for. I was a junior at University of Delaware, and I was having a rough. It felt like forever. It might have been 2 days. I don't know, but I was having a rough time, and ended up in therapy. And the therapist basically told me I was in the wrong field, and she told me that I should pursue psychology. And so that's what I did. So I switched my major as a junior, as a mother. I had a young son at the time. I had him at 20, and I switched into therapy, and I've loved it ever since, because it made me heal. In some ways, I'm still healing, still working on me. Especially now, COVID, kind of released some things that I never even knew existed in my yeah, I don't even know. Like
Yeah.
it's been an awakening in COVID, kind of
Mhm.
released some things for me. And so
Right.
yeah, so a therapist, therapy saved my life. And so I'm just here to do the same thing for whoever I touch, and they trust me.
Yes, thank you.
Chantel, we need to make a song, right? There
What
used
you
to be a
oh
song. A
do I have to
DJ
sing it?
saved my life. We need
Yes.
to make a song.
Yeah, mental health. Mental health saved my
Nancy
life.
saved my life.
Yes. Yes. I don't know who Beyonce can sing it. I don't know. Somebody.
Yes. Anyone else?
Yeah, so Chantel, your story similar to mine. I went into nursing first.
Oh,
I
good.
knew that I was to be in the helping field in some
Yes.
way. Realized nursing wasn't really for me. I mean, I worked in managed care for years before I transitioned to working in the mental health field. And what I realized is once I got there, I found my purpose. Um, I
It's a
am
gift.
wholeheartedly a healer. That is
Yes.
what I am here to do. And once I started working with clients on the nonprofit side, just kind of giving free life services and connecting charitable events and safe space events, and people would just come up and thank me and ask questions, and as I'm talking, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this runs a little bit deeper than just safe space events and safe space events and charitable efforts. And
Yes.
that's when I tapped into mental health therapy, and I realized I'm really freaking good at it. And,
No
and
effort.
yeah, it's effortless. And so here we are. Here I am.
Okay.
Oh, Chantel.
Thank you.
Well, I go next. I think starting off at the nursing major is everybody's
No,
pretty.
you too.
I didn't start school, but it's because I knew I wanted to get in the helping field. Because as a teenager, my parents got divorced in that part of life where you're really trying to determine who you are and girl stuff and all that. So I had a lot of time to think about stuff on my own. So I knew I wanted to be in some form of a helping field. Now, when I started nursing school, I didn't want to help that much. It was a little too in my hands on. But when I did some research and got into the psychology program and took that course, got that degree, and then understood that psychology and counseling, they go together, but they're two totally different. And so for me to take the next step of being a helper, supporter for people who don't have someone to talk to, don't have someone to relieve, the stress with or, the concerns with, I knew that I would be in the counseling field. And, so I took the next step to get to that point. And I've always told myself, I'm an employer, not an employee. So I knew one day I was going to be able to step out and be able to, help people the way I want to help them, with my own business, own practices, and not have to worry about providing the billing service, but the best care service. And so that's what I thrive on, actually helping my clients and working with them through their issues and not just focusing on the monetary part of it. And I like seeing, you know, being brown skin, having clients that see me and they look like me and they
Yeah.
have somebody that can go through some things that we may have all dealt with some of the same ways, not exactly, but just being that person that, okay, is I can be comfortable with her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, two points, Dr. Stevens. The first point
Yeah.
is the first point is when you brought up Florence Nightingale and you said like we have to have that conversation about nursing and social work, and I was like, Florence Nightingale didn't. What does she have to do with social work? And I was so offended, right? Because I was like, it was Jane Addams, like they pushed that in our heads, you know. But you taught me something. You said, wait a minute. You said focus. Nursing was the clinical part. Jane Addams might have brought that community part, but there was that clinical part. Don't sleep on that clinical part. And
Right.
here we have three women here who are saying, I started out as nursing.
Mhm.
And so there's that clinical part. And then the other point that I want to say is it is so important for us to be able to seek services out from individuals that look like us
100%.
and that experience what we've experienced, just family growing up experience, right?
Yes.
um
Cultural
so yeah, go ahead.
So cultural appropriateness is so important when providing service to the community.
Yeah.
So it is important that, let's say, if a person who has gone through trauma and the person is African American or Black, we know that there is systematic racism. We know that there is public health inequity, education inequity, all that heavily impacts African American and
Yeah.
disadvantage. So now instead of thinking that I have to keep all this problem to myself, by seeing individuals that look like them, it breaks that stigma that I do not have to go out and talk to someone else. But now here is that person that looks like me, and I can feel comfortable and they can relate to me. And it is so important to understand the foundation as to why having Black mental health professionals within the field is important in breaking generational cycles of mental health or trauma, whatever the case, but also breaking the stigma. You guys have a valuable part to play in when it comes to breaking the cycle, breaking chains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Miss Sanjay, next you.
Okay, so growing up in this little small town, nobody talked about therapy. Nobody talked about counseling. It was like really not heard of. So, we were told to pray about it. We were told to, keep things within the home. You don't go out and tell your business. Um, but as a young child growing up, my mom suffered from um, anxiety and panic attacks. And at that time, I didn't know what was going on with my mom. And so I saw her going through these episodes, and me being 14 and 15 years old, not understanding. Now, my mom was sick. Majority of my childhood, she had cancer, not once but two times. And so I'm not sure if having the cancer is what triggered her anxiety and panic attacks, or this was something that she was experiencing in her childhood. I'm not sure. But so for me to watch my mom go through that and, be on medication, then to find out my grandmother also was dealing with anxiety and was taking medication, I didn't understand what they were talking about when they say, "Oh, well, I can't drive, to this town because I'm going to have anxiety," or, "Well, this right here is going to cause me anxiety, so I can't come to your game. I can't come see you cheer. I can't drive you to Grambling." Those type of things, and I'm like, I don't. What are you talking about? Like, what is going on with my mama? Like, this is not normal. And so when I got older and I think I was living in Texas and I was moving back home. And the day that I moved back to Louisiana, I got sick. I had my first anxiety attack. And immediately I had to go to the hospital because I'm like, what is going on with me? It was like the blood in my body, it rushed down to the bottom of my toes, cold, and then it came back up hot. And I'm just like, what is going on with me? So I thought I was dying, literally. And so I'm like, what is going on? And so come to find out, I was suffering from anxiety and panic attacks. And so for me, growing up, I was always the one to have all the friends, but my friends wasn't friends with each other. So I was always the middle person. And so everybody would always come to me, talking to me about their problems and stuff. And, looking back, I'm like, Lord, you set me up back then. Like I was a little girl, you set me up, you know, to be, that person that everybody, goes to or feel comfortable talking to. And, here I am, years later. I just got my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling here in 2018. But the company that I work for, I started out as a family advocate in 2005. So I was surrounded with LPCs, people who had their doctor degrees in psychology or counseling or whatever. And so it just motivated me to go and pursue, a degree in, mental health. And plus, that was always a dream of mine anyway. But the things that I've been through in my life, I feel like paved the way for me to be in the position that I am now, to be a therapist and to also have my own nonprofit organization dealing with mental health. So for me, it was more so experience and trauma. Um, and just being that person that, people just cling to, like strangers would just come up to me and just be like, hey, can I talk to you? I'm like, okay. So I feel like, God called me to be a therapist. And I also feel like I had to go through those things in order for me to be in a position to where I can relate to my families that I work with on a daily basis. So I feel like there was purpose in all of that pain. And I am still currently healing as of today. Okay.
Yes.
I feel
Oh
like we
my.
all are.
Yes, thank you. You actually take on my next question, because as we're going through and we're providing mental health services to all the people, sometimes people might look at you being in the field and might say, hey, you know what? This person is strong. You got it. Don't worry. Oh no, it will just pass. Like don't worry. Just go ahead. Oh girl, you're just overreacting. Get over it. But they don't see that you have also gone through certain challenges within life to
Mhm.
be able to get
Sure.
you to where you are, for you to be able to connect. So before I ask my question, I want to make this statement that being a mental health therapist, it's not only just working with a person and providing healing, but you're working with a person's mind, and that mind is connected to a heart. And there was a letter that stated many times people look at what is happening in the Middle East, the inequality about men and women. But here, by a stroke of pen in the Middle East, all that can change, because it is the laws that are embedded within the country that is creating the practice. But here in the United States, it is our culture that is creating the practice of prejudice, that is this creating the practice of discrimination. So you have to be able to create that change one hat at a time, rather than being able to change the entire culture, because policies can be developed, all the things can develop, but when a culture of hatred is embedded within us from young through generations, it is not just policy that will change it. It
Right.
comes with a lot of responsibilities, and you guys are one of the keys that will help change that, because you're connecting to the heart and you're connecting to the mind, the two major things that impact discrimination and that impacts prejudice. So
Mhm.
you guys have so much to do, and you guys are creating legends. So
Yeah.
I want to personally thank you for all the work that you are doing.
Thank you.
So now I want to be able to ask you, now that people, you are in the field and people see you as that strong individual, how do you go about taking care of your own mental health?
We don't. No, I'm just playing.
Right.
Well, some days, right? Some days we forget. Um, I think for us, it's nice to have your support system, but sometimes family and friends have no idea the burdens that we carry being in this field. And I think things like this, right? Connecting with other professionals that look and think and act like we do provides us a safe space, because I think that's the biggest thing with being a black female clinician is sometimes we still don't feel safe. And when we have platforms like this and we have behind the scenes conversations and I can be my authentic self, that is my healing. That is my confirmation that I'm not crazy. I'm not, this is not made up. This is, this is my calling. And even though I'm supposed to do it and I'm hurting along the way, I'm okay because I have you. I have sisters. I have someone, you're holding my hand and you're not even present, but I know you got me. And I think that that's what makes all the difference, because we have each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
support is so important. Sometimes I tell people it's just like this pencil. Oops. If you have this pencil, it's easy to break. But if you add multiple pencils together, it's not as easy to break as we may think. And the
Right.
support that we get from each other is being able to have an outlet. The more you put into a bottle, or the more you put unhealthy or toxic or challenges or stressors in, the more it will expand to the point that it can explode. It can have a acute stress reaction. It can have so many different things that will cause a mental breakdown, even as therapists. So it is so important to be able to get external support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think it's important to practice what you preach, right? So if you're working with individuals and you're teaching them things like mindfulness, if
Right.
you are a holistic practitioner and you are using energy healing, right? And I think one of my sisters on here was talking about like energy healing. I am a Reiki practitioner. So when I actually got certified as a level 2 Reiki practitioner, I was like, oh, I'm gonna, use this to provide to individuals. Let me tell you something. I have used Reiki on my dog, my
Yeah.
son, and
Yes, we gotta love on the
myself
doggies.
and
Yes.
myself.
Yeah.
I have not used it on anyone else. So when you say, like, how have you managed your own mental health? It's to learn the skills that we've learned and to apply it for
Yeah.
ourselves. Even though we are working with individuals,
Yes.
sometimes we can transfer those skills to people, but sometimes when we're learning skills, it may not be for others. Like I hold those certifications, but I use that strictly for me. And it's a game changer. So
Yeah.
I know that it can help others, but besides self-care, and that is a form of self-care, that is what I do. I do Reiki on myself, my child, and my dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think it's important to have a routine. I mean, I'm an empath, right? I'm a therapist, but I'm also an empath. So, on top of my anxiety, ADHD, we all have some sort of traumatic experiences that we have gone through in life. Um, I hold on to other people's feelings as well. So, as an empath and as a therapist, on a daily basis, my candles are lit, my incense are burning, right? Aromatherapy,
Yeah.
again, the energy healing, the light therapy. I take cleansing baths at the end of every week. That is, sea salt and lavender, anything that I know that can holistically help, right? I am also an herbalist, so I sell teas for mental health, and I also sip my tea for
Yes.
mental health. So absolutely, applying everything that we do is absolutely, it's important. It's absolutely important and beneficial. It helps. When I tell, oh, and I take 1 week off every month from practice. Every month, 1 week off. And my clients, they get a safety plan. This is the plan
Okay. Yeah, I love it.
if something's needed. But
Yeah.
every month, every week, 1 week out of every month, I literally take off because I know when I'm reaching burnout. I know when I'm starting to feel tapped
Mhm.
out. I know when I'm having these depressed and sad moods, right? For whatever reason, because we all have real ish that we go through.
Right.
1 week out of every month, I take my space for my mental healing. So
You gotta love on yourself.
absolutely,
You have to
Yes.
love on yourself, you know?
absolutely.
Yes. Yes. Sanji and Dr. Stephanie.
Well, it sounds like I need to take a little bit more time for myself. I've, I've noticed that I do embody a lot of the interventions that I work with my clients, but I'm still on go mode a lot of times, and I'm learning to take that time, and not as much time. I'm not it's not, but I'm learning to take the time for myself to rest and relax and unwind, and do whatever it is I need to do to decompress from just working with everybody in their issues, because we can bring that on top of it, but working through the intervention on my own time, it's just become natural. What I work with my clients, some things I can pinpoint on how I've become a better person using it within my lifestyle. So I just got to get better with the self care. So I don't take as much time for myself as I should, and I know it's something I need to do, but it's there, it's on the list.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it's definitely a goal, but we're all working on something.
Yes.
You
Thank
you're gonna make Dr. Stevens create a retreat for professionals.
Oh, let's do
Oh
it.
no, I'm thinking of it already. Not just no, I'm thinking of
Yes.
it
Somewhere,
already.
somewhere warm, please. Somewhere warm.
Yeah, you got
Yes, it's actually being thought of. So the goal is hopefully next year we can have a professional retreat.
okay.
Yes, Miss Angie.
Oh, it's everything Miss Stephanie Harris said. I don't do a very good job at that. Um, I know I should. I need to definitely practice what I preach.
Mhm.
But I am like always on go. It's like the only time that I get to just sit down is when I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Or when you're
I have
sick,
two
don't do
very
but
it.
active teenagers.
Don't do it.
but also understand that what is
My
self-care
God, they
for
are in
all.
everything.
Yeah, also understand what is self-care for others might not be self-care for you. Probably your self-care might be bringing your children to sports, and being on the go might be your self-care. For there are
Mhm.
individuals when they slow down, it causes more of a stressor for them. So you need to be able to identify what is your form of self-care.
Well, life is going to
Right.
show you because when you think you have it
Yeah.
covered and we have a routine, and then all of a sudden you get COVID, and
Hmm.
it sits you down for a month. You'll figure out you'll figure out what self care is going to look like for you moving forward. Trust me.
For sure. And it doesn't, it, you have to arrive there. I mean, I didn't wake up and say, oh, every day I'm going to take a bath and sip tea and light my incense. I mean, I was always on the go. And it took my body, and I'm also a type 1 diabetic, right? So there, I have other things going on. And it took my body to say, like, sis, it's time for you to be still. You teach everybody else how to be still, and you're not practicing what you preach. So I had to arrive there. It's like Chantel said,
Yes.
COVID to sit you down. I didn't have COVID, but I definitely experienced a
Something.
physiological symptom that said, mm-mm, it's time for you, to arrive
Yes.
and be still for sure.
Yeah, and that is so important. Kia Wood said, Dr. Kiana, 1 week off is such a bold move. Where unnecessary life slash career aspiration.
Love it.
People say, what? How did we, could you please tell I went to the dentist today and I'm talking and I'm telling them how I do it in practice. And they're like, can you please tell our boss that we need 1 week off
1 week off.
once a month? I
I
say
love it.
by the third week of every month, again, I realize I'm starting to tap out.
Yeah.
And then you'll start to get mediocre me. And I don't want to be mediocre when I'm healing. I need to be
Wow.
at my very best. And so if
Right.
it's a week for you or 2 days, 3 days, one day, even if it's just one day a week, you have to
Mhm.
find a way to recharge. You
Yeah.
So
cannot heal if you're not recharging yourself. You
Right.
just
yeah,
can't.
so what I do, I actually have a futon in my office. And when I am exhausted, I turn that futon into a bed. I
Ooh,
text everyone,
talk
I
about
email
that.
everyone. I'm like, do not disturb me. I'm going down.
I love it. I love it.
So
But it helps.
and what they need to do to focus on them and their healing. But that is good to hear that because we need to do it for ourselves, and we know that, But when you got goals and aspirations, and you trying to get stuff done, it's like, oh, I get to it, put it to the back burner. But it's definitely something that has to be at the forefront because if you don't take care of you, you can't help take care of others.
Right.
Correct. And not just taking care of you, because your mind is connected to your entire body parts.
Yeah.
And when you become overwhelmed and you become stressed, high blood pressure happens, heart problems
Right.
happen. There are individuals who go into paralysis due to high level of stress. There are so many things that because your brain controls and be able to move with everything within the body, just overworking your body. That's why when people are driving and they overwork, they fall asleep behind the wheel and they have no control because the body is saying time for shutdown.
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
That or they get to their destination without thinking about how they got there.
Mm.
That's when you know,
Mm.
like, you're
Mm.
just on overdrive, right?
Oh,
You're
yes.
just like getting there and you're like, I don't even remember how, like the lights that I stopped at or the turns that you just on automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids know when I am tired and I'm sleeping, they come and ask me everything. Mommy, can I have ice cream? Uh-huh. Mommy, can I drive your car? Uh-huh. But that is so important. So,
Yeah.
someone else, someone shared, whoa, this is a powerful moment for women. So as we're going on and we continue discussing, Kia also wanted to make mention that she's searching for a therapist in Dallas. So Kia, you can definitely reach out to us. We do have mental health professionals in Dallas that we can connect you with. So if you can, please send us your email and your location as to where you're looking for a therapist, and we can connect you with a mental health therapist out there. We're going to leave this link up for a few moments, and you can connect if there are individuals from different states from Louisiana, because we do have individuals here from Louisiana, Monroe. We also have from Winsburg. But any part of Louisiana that you are and you want to do telehealth services because you're not able to connect with a mental health professional, please send us an email and let us know which location you are so we connect you with the right professional. And also, we do have mental health professionals here from Delaware as well. You can identify who you want to connect with. So if you want to connect with Chantal, then you can say, hey, requesting service with Chantal. If you want to connect with Dr. Kiana, you can say, hey, you want to connect with Dr. Kiana. And if you want to connect with Holistic Elevation, then you state that as well. So we want to make sure everyone out there, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our nene, our nana, all of you guys out there get the service and the help that you need.
I also, Dr. Stevens, want to remind Chantel that, looking for Spanish speaking
Yes,
clinician,
please. I
right?
would
Because
love.
I have to represent my
Please,
past.
please.
Yes,
I just
Chantal,
want to learn how to dance. Really, no, I want to cook some rice. No, no, I really want. I do. I want a Latina or Latinx therapist here because we don't have one, and I just need that. I need that presence around me.
yes. Just now, did you say you do not know how to cook rice?
No, I want to learn how to make the authentic rice because
I was
I'm
about to
buying
say,
Spanish rice
I
at the
got you.
store.
I got you.
okay. I
I
was
got
about to say
you.
you buy one of those rice cookers.
Now I got the coquito. I got that a little bit. I'm working on it. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, self-care. Buy one of the cookers for you to do the jasmine rice.
Me and rice is not my. I can cook, but rice has never been. I will burn minute rice. I can't do it. I don't know.
Miss Chantel, I got you on that. Let me tell all you ladies something. It is such a blessing to be biracial.
Embrace it. You hear me? Embrace it.
African American food because my mama is black and my father is Puerto Rican. So eating biracial and cooking biracial, I got you, Miss Chantel. I got you.
I'm excited. I like food. That's my self-care, food.
Okay, so now, ladies, I am going to be sharing a screen with you guys that has a poem, and I would love for us to share it with the community and those who's watching.
Which also means I'm a creator because I create things. I'm an artist, which also means I'm a creator because I create things. A storyteller since I have stories to tell, a visionary. I write about where I've been. These poems act as self-help. I'm a healer. Not always for myself, but one time a kid told me he almost killed himself, but he heard one of my poems and decided to keep living. From that day forward, I was like, today is a good day to keep someone alive. People ask me how I did it or how they should do it. And I'm not sure if they're asking me about the kid or themselves. What I've come to learn is no one can tell when I'm not doing well but me. I get to travel across the country and do poems for a living like that's my job. And out of 50 states, I've performed in 47 of them. I read an article that said only 20% of people in the US are doing what they actually love, or whatever sad statistic it was. And I was like, my God, ain't damned nothing in me. I'm doing exactly what I've always wanted to do. So I must be blessed. Must be exemplifying all this miracle. I am stressed and winning. I look at and update my curriculum vitae daily, and I be like, damn, I'm surprised I even knew how to say that word. And ain't nobody wish nothing bad on me but me. Like everything I've ever wanted, I'm manifesting at the end of each meditation. I ask the universe to make me undeniably enough. And people be mad happy when I show up. One time, I performed for 200,000 people and I didn't throw up. It was so cool and exhausting. Did you know I could touch what feels like a million people's energy and help them feel seen and go back to my hotel room feeling so fulfilled yet lonely? Yeah, it's amazing. Another time, I thought I was going to marry this guy I had been with for like 6 years out of my life, but he said he hated my lifestyle, even though this is my life's work, because my work means I'm never home. But every time I came back, he was gone as an emotionally unavailable, mentally abusive. I have extreme PTSD from that unhealthy relationship, but someone asked me to do that one poem about that one time where he was mine. May you find a lover that helps you love yourself. May you find a lover that doesn't require you to give more to them than you have to give to yourself. Did I mention I paid off my student loans with poetry? Can't nobody tell me I'm not the shit but me. I get so sad sometimes I think I'm losing my mind, and I must be, since I enrolled in graduate school this past May. I guess I returned to my oppressor. I am whoever the fuck I think I am, but I wish being a good person paid more. I heard it's the wounds people can't see that hurt the most, but I've seen sunsets that look like somewhere tomorrow. My heart is on fire, so I'm chasing the day. At night, I don't sleep, I grind. I've been in my prime like 9 times. I got so much love I give and keep giving. I have so much advice that are really opinions, or maybe they're just hard facts I haven't hardly learned yet. Did I mention that people comment on how I'm doing by mentioning my weight? And here I am, some foolish somebody that didn't actually hate the way they look today. But you right, girl, must be the depression. But I'm the kind of giant that's been through what I've been through and you can still depend on. I gave all that I had, and you ain't never known a Black woman who ain't did that. My friends call on me when they're down and out or just in need. And what good is a God that can't speak life into somebody? Check on your strong friends. Check on your strong friends. Check on your strong friends. Don't believe us. I promise we're pretending. Have you ever tried to tell someone you're not okay and they're like, you're good, and you're like, but I'm not, and they're like, you got this, and you're like, but I don't, and they're like, keep going, and you're like, okay, thank you, you're right, I could do this with my eyes closed. I'm so overwhelmed that one time I was drowning and screaming, but everybody thought I was swimming and smiling. I died in that dream, and then I woke up on an airplane flying to a different country to do poetry. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed that my heart is racing. My mind is crazy. I'm probably dehydrating. Traveling does awful things to the body, but the one thing I can tell you about being successful is that you have to love what you're doing. Can't nobody steal my joy. Can't nobody steal my joy, not even myself. I heard that or someone said that if your path is more difficult, it's because your calling is higher. And so I say I be hero and legend. Nobody built like me, I designed myself. But every time I climb, my community get co-signed. Divinity defined. Cheers to the Most High. I just pray I leave something good behind. My name is Ebony Stewart. Thank you so much.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What made? How did? When you say you felt that, can you explain?
I thought she was one of us. I said, is she a therapist? Wait a minute, because I feel like you know me and you know my story. And girl, we're have you been to Delaware? Did you
Yeah,
have
listen.
you seen my story? Did I say that out loud to somebody?
Yeah.
That was deep. Yeah.
Yes. It is so important. You guys, everything you guys are doing, that's why it is so important to have and do self-care for yourself. And to the individuals out there that are listening, if you have a friend that might look as if they're strong, that might say they're okay, that might look as if they're everything, they have it financially, they have it physically, they have it with the hot spouse and everything, and they look as if they're like there, please check on them because they're hurting. So we have to break that stigma that
Yeah.
what a person looks like, what they have makes them happy, makes
Right.
them less of a person that is suffering with mental health challenges.
You
So
know,
go ahead.
one of the things that comes up for me, and I want to bring up to our other clinicians here is, what do you find is the barrier that, would prohibit someone to seek services, right? Especially a person of color or ethnicity, because I think that even like as I was growing up, it's like you don't talk about that, right? You don't go and talk to somebody about what we're going through. You don't tell nobody our problems.
Yeah.
And then I think that as we grow up, we find like, no, there's health in talking about it, but there's worth in finding somebody that looks like us
Yeah.
to talk to about it.
Yeah.
So what's your thought on that?
Well, I think that with the stigma and the norm that people grew up in is you don't talk, you don't tell, because it's almost as if there's a weakness in saying something is not right or something is not going right. Because even like with saying check on your strong friends, it's almost like, well, either you're strong or you're weak. There's no in between, but there
Right.
is an in between. You don't have to be one or the other. You could just be having a moment that you can't really put a word to, and so I think, with others feeling like there's some form of a weakness to you saying, I don't have everything all together and I don't have this day, or I'm struggling with this, or, I get these kind of feelings, it's some form of a weakness. But a person who can see that they have a problem, ask for help, and take the chances and take the stance to get better, do better, to work with someone, that's a strong person.
Yeah.
And that's a strength in, asking for help and, being realistic with yourself that you can't continue to live how you've been living. And, despite the opinions of others and, whatever the social norms say, or because even like now mental health is in its prime. It's all, we working on our mental health, we working on our mental health. And but years ago it was like it's hush hush. You talk to a counselor, you don't tell anybody. So it's I think is the thought of being seen as a weak person or a weakling or have some form of a weakness. But when it's not really that. Like, it takes a lot of strength to say I need help
Right.
and willing to take those steps. So I think that in some cases that could be, some of the outlook to it.
Yes, and that is so important. So, as we're talking about the importance of that, I also don't want us to forget our men, our brothers, our fathers, because I explain when I think of African American males and blacks, when they go through, yes, us as women, we go through tremendous heartaches and tremendous trauma, but also those men go through a lot of challenges. When you think of the systematic challenges, the cycle of those challenges they go through, the fear that they have to go through about thinking that the entire community or the entire world is against them. This is a reality. It is not just a made up thing that is people are talking about it. It is happening every single time. So
Yeah.
I describe men as when they're a baby, they are taken. And just an example, let's say they're placed in a container. And as a baby, you close that container. You do not show any love, any empathy, no affirmation, nothing that will help develop the side of the brain that connects to every other part of the body.
Mm.
But then we allow them to grow and grow within that area. The girls and the females, we give them love. We ask them to express themselves. It's okay to cry. It's okay to say how you feel. But remember, you have to take care of those around you.
Right.
So now females are grown up to be able to care for other people and to be able to love other people. But when it comes to loving themselves and caring for themselves, it doesn't feel the same.
Right.
But for the men, they're still in that container where they grow, and now they're an adult and they're taken out of that cup without any life skills that is needed for them to be able to look after their family, care for their spouse, love on their spouse, because
Mhm.
what was taught for to them was not there. So now they're placed on the line with everybody else. All other males are joined on the line and they're walking, walking, walking. Now
Right.
they're trained to be fathers, big brothers, big sisters, and everything.
Bosses. Mhm.
Yes, but then they have the cycle of trauma where it is difficult for them to go and accept help. It
Right.
is difficult for them to be able to say, "Hey, I need help," because that was not taught to them.
Right.
It's we have to start somewhere in breaking those cycles, because we also have to face the reality that women and men are raised differently. One is raised to express emotions and don't care for themselves, and the other one is raised not to care for not to express emotions,
Mhm.
but also care for your family financially. So emotions is nowhere in there, so we
Right.
have a lot of work to do.
Right.
Well, and I also think that we're as females provided the skills and the outlets, and then when you talk about the males, not necessarily provided the skills and the outlets, but definitely the expectations.
Right.
We expect you to show up. We expect you to be the provider. We expect you to be the protector, but nobody has ever expected a male to be a nurturer
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
expressive of his feelings.
Right.
And so then what may look like frustration or anger is
Mhm.
might sometimes be passion,
Yeah. And
because
they don't recognize
I
it.
don't know how to challenge it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Chantal and then Stephanie. I know you guys do. So Chantal, go ahead, and then Stephanie.
Yeah, like I was, what I was saying is, agreeing to that, and it's a shame because a lot of the men, the ones that are emotional, it's like, oh, you're sensitive, or back in the day, it was like, oh, you're gay, or or you're acting like a girl, or there was all these negative connotations to, I'm just an emotional person, and I'm comfortable with me to be able to express that, and a lot of our men, um, still struggle with that, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so unfortunate, and it's hard to watch, and it's hard to be present in those spaces, because for us that's not a safe space. I don't
Correct.
feel safe
You're
when you
right.
can't express your emotions, because I don't know how you're going to react, and the reality is you don't know how you're going to react, but you think you have it all
Exactly.
together.
Yeah.
And and it's in, we talk about generational curses. It's like, yeah, you're teaching our family generational wealth, but then you have this lack of emotion that is also going to pass down from the generations. And we have to figure out how to break that cycle, because that's a problem as well. And we can't flourish and be the kings and queens that we're meant to be
Yeah.
if we don't figure out how to fix this. And I feel like COVID has really opened us up as a people
Yeah.
to, it's time, and it's so many people that are scared, but it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And not just us, it's not just about black and brown,
Mm-hmm.
but it's time for those that believe in healing to come together, because we're going to have to do this hand in hand, and it's going to be a lot coming up against us, but it's time.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that the stigma it comes from society. The stigma comes from cultural beliefs. The stigma comes from religious beliefs. So to piggyback off of Chantel, we need a universal approach. We need to be penetrating communities left and right on a regular basis, internationally,
Yes.
so that we can break the chains and the generational curses,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
So yeah, so Stephanie, you wanted to go ahead, Dr. Stephanie.
Well, they kind of touched a lot of good points on it, but we can be the show of force that it's okay to make that change, because I think that with all the points of how men, especially, are taught not to, be this way. Don't show no feelings. Don't show any emotions. Just I need you, because I'm guilty of it myself. Having you have a man, you expect him to be a provider, and it's almost like it should just come natural. Like, you didn't get taught that. And it's true. Some people don't get taught it, and they get taught the lack of everything else that comes along with just being a genuine decent person. And so I think being a show of force that's showing that it's okay to start making a change is painful, it's odd, it's uncomfortable, but it's something that has to happen, and it's something that has to get done to just make the future a better place for everyone.
Agree. So now we have 5 more minutes left, and I would love to have the floor open to you guys. If there are a male out here or out there you want to say something empowering to, please, you can identify them. You can just let them know that you are thinking of them and you want to give a shout out to them.
Well, I
Well,
would like to give a shout out.
go ahead. I'll go after you. Go ahead.
I would like to give a shout out to my father, because our fathers are the ones, a lot of times we get these, this is what I want my man to be,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Mm-hmm.
my father, he's not perfect. He was a great provider. He showed emotion enough, for a man in a sense, and so, but he struggled as well.
Yeah.
He dealt with substance abuse issues, and, but my father is getting ready to be 60 this year, and he has worked throughout his life to not let addiction take him down, not let the life shortcomings take him down, and and so he continues to push us, all children, always been supportive,
Mm-hmm.
never said anything negative to any of his children, in sense of, my parents always felt like you can't do what you want to do out here. And so, with him as the man in my life, like, that is, I want to give a shout out to him, because he's went a long way, and he's been through a lot of things, but he has shown me that you can have the life that you want. You put the effort in to make the change and do better, and it will just fall into place.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Next, if we can keep it on the 1 minute, that would be great. I know we want to go on and give the shout out, but I
Mm-hmm.
love it. Give them the love.
What I was going to say is, for me, I've been blessed to have, currently and as a foundation, so many strong Black men. And when I say strong, I'm not saying strong as in physically, they're physically strong. But when I say they have instilled into the family a lot of good gems, and because of them, I am where I am today. And so for me, it's a blessing to have more than one father. It's a blessing to have a relationship with my in-laws. It's a blessing to have, my sons be an example. And so I look at all of these men that I'm blessed to have around me and to have watching over me, and know that I'm okay. Even when I don't think I'm okay and I don't feel safe and I'm not sure what's going on, I know that I'm okay because I have a strong village that is led by a lot of wonderful Black men.
Thank you.
I just want to really give a quick shout out to all the men who have taken the opportunity to engage in therapy, who have taken the opportunity to share their pain, their hurt, have gone on the journey to heal, to learn the skills necessary, to be a protector, to be a provider, to go on the journey of looking at what was done in childhood and to make better decisions as adults, whether they're parents or not, but just in being in relationship with others in general, period. It therapy is hard work. It is courageous work. And for individuals who are not taught to be vulnerable, I just want to give a shout out to those men that do take the opportunity to make a phone call, um, um, to tell somebody like, hey, I think I need somebody to talk to. It is very courageous.
Thank
So
you.
that's my shout out.
Okay, next we have either Miss Sanji or Dr. Kiana.
So I want to honor my ancestor, my pops, Alan Theodore Freeman, who was passed away in 2014. Was a very strong man, very stern, and was able to show a balance of love and discipline. But I'm sure struggled with some of his own mental illness that he never spoke up about. I want to shout out my son, my 21-year-old son, Davon, who with whom I love so dearly, who struggles with some emotional issues as well. My brothers, Alan and Antoine, I love you all so much. I tell them every day that I love them. And then in general, to everyone watching, men and women, we are not the minority. We have all the power. Please, please, please reach out to any of us to tap in to your powers and get this healing work. It is well worth it.
Thank you.
Um, I would have to say, I would honor my stepdad. He's no longer with us, but he was a very powerful, strong man, and he did not show emotions. Not sad or anything like that. Like he was very strong and very direct and firm. But he was a great man. He loved me. He loved my mom and my children. And he showed me what a real man is like and how he should be treating his family and loving his family. Um, but just a shout out to all the men, support is there. It's okay to be vulnerable at times. It's okay for you to feel. It's not okay to not feel. You need to feel. It's okay, and help is out there. So if you feel like you're down and out, you're about to have a breakdown, a meltdown, reach out. There are male therapists out there as well. If you don't want a female therapist, there are male therapists out there, counselors out there, mentors out there, coaches out there. It's out there. Seek it. It's out there, and I'm pretty sure that once you tear down the wall that you may have, and not be so guarded. I feel like you could really get some great information, skills, and techniques and tools that will help you in your day to day life.
Okay, thank you. And for me, I would definitely like to shout out to there are a lot of men within my life that have provided support to me. Dr. Thomason from Grambling State University, he always, I graduated almost 15 years now, and he still calls and check on me to figure out what I am doing to make sure I am doing great. Also, they have Dr. Marcus Day, who has supported me within my profession. There is Major Williams. Anytime I am down, Major Williams always call, or even I'm happy. Right now he's in Hawaii, he's in the military, but he will call to say, "Hey, what you doing?" And we always crack those jokes. But my brothers, they always support me, especially having my own business, but not forgetting my husband. Everyone knows I did my PhD within 2.5 years. I had my own business and I have 3 children, but my husband supported me within all that time. Within the time I was going to school, he looked after the children. Right now, with this live view, he has them all in a corner, helping them, making sure that they don't come into my office and say, "Mommy, I want something." So I want to give out a shout out to my husband, Martha Stevens, for all the support and all the love that he has contributed throughout this journey. So,
You forget the husbands
yes.
and the partners, right?
Yes, yes. So, ladies, this was a great, great, great pleasure having those conversations with you. We do want to ensure that individuals out there, I will also post your information in our link for anyone who wants to get services. But if anyone is watching and you need mental health services, again, if you are in the Delaware area and you need services, whether it is virtual or face to face, please email us, identify who you want as your therapist, and we'll connect you with them. If you are in Louisiana, please connect with us. And if you are having difficulty in getting a mental health therapist, we would be happy to contact you, connect you with someone. So once again, our beautiful people out there, we love you guys, and please stay blessed and take care of yourself. Until next time.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.